This is Gray.
This is Mel.
This is Liz.
And we want to welcome you to Chuck versus the Podcast, episode 94 for Monday, November 14th, 2011. We have a new episode of Frosted Tips to discuss, but first, a couple of quick news hits. Mel?
Well, in ratings news, it's not good news.
Yeah.
Chuck versus the Bearded Bandit dropped to a 0.9 in the 18 to 49 demo and about 3.2 million viewers overall. That's a new low.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really curious to see the DVR numbers because I've been getting several people who are emailing me and saying that they were surprised to have seen a new episode of Chuck on their DVR when they turned it on Saturday because they didn't even know Chuck was back, let alone on a Friday.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute. And I mean, these are not, they're kind of casual fans. They're not on the site every day, but they're fans. You know, they have it programmed into their DVR.
Mm-hmm.
They know to come to chucktv.net for news. So it's not like they're total newbies.
Yeah.
So that was weird. Plus, you know, last Friday we heard that there were, you know, people were saying, you know what, my affiliate just doesn't even, it airs high school football on Fridays.
Wow.
It doesn't even air Chuck until like after midnight on Saturday.
Yowie.
Which, yeah, that's not counted into the Nielsen's, obviously. Not in the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and others, I guess there was some power outages in Wisconsin and Connecticut. I don't know. We got from several different parts of the country saying that they didn't even have power, which I don't know what was going on. But
wow.
Yeah, so some random stuff. And it seems it kind of has affected overall. I mean, if you look at the other shows airing in that time slot, Extreme Home Makeover had the most viewers with 4.86 million, and Kitchen Nightmares rated the highest in the demo with a 1.5. So obviously Friday night standards are different than other nights if those are the two highest rated shows.
Well,
the time slot. And it appears that viewers want non-scripted fare too.
Well, I think it's because, like, I know for my wife, Extreme Home Makeover is like a religion, and
yeah,
you know, she's going to watch that no matter what. Mm-hmm. I think these shows have a very, very loyal audience who have just programmed their lives around that time.
Mm-hmm.
It shouldn't theoretically affect Chuck or not, but I think the reality is Chuck has a little bit of a younger demographic than that show, and Friday night is Friday night.
Yeah, that's true. I find myself having a little more conflicts than I expected on Friday nights, but oh well. For the love of Chuck.
Yeah. Well, at least it's so easy to get online, right?
Liz?
Well, depends on who you ask.
Yeah.
We've actually had a lot of questions about that, about when the episodes will start streaming on NBC.com or Hulu and iTunes and all the other whatever else is available. We've been asking our contact at NBC and Warner Brothers as well, and the news isn't promising, guys. So far, we're being told that negotiations for the streaming rights are ongoing, but it doesn't look like episodes will be available online anytime soon. Sorry to say. So that's kind of going to hurt things too.
Yeah. Time to invest in a DVR.
Yeah.
Or go the old-fashioned route and use your VCR.
Yeah. They still work, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Yeah. Anyway.
Give it another 10 years, they'll be going back to them.
Yeah. Well, but for some good news, because we like good news, we're hearing more positive rumors about air dates for new episodes, and our sources say it's likely that we'll get to see the Christmas episode in time for Christmas. 507 before the show goes on holiday hiatus, after all. So we'll update you as soon as that is confirmed. We won't be in January with Christmas decorations in the show.
You know, someone commented on the podcast, on last week's podcast, and said that the fact that the Halloween decorations were up was actually a plot point because Morgan stole the bandit mask off the shelf.
Right.
So yes, it was actually a plot point, but it still bugged me. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Before we talk about Chuck versus the Frosted Tips, which I think we all loved, we're going to hear from our featured sponsors. This week's featured sponsors have products that help your computer. Don't have enough PCI slots in your computer? Magma.com can add more, even high-end graphics or storage cards. starting at $829. Or take a look at Netstore with PCI expansion enclosures starting at $499. FX Factory by Noise Industries powers hundreds of visual effects for Final Cut Pro, Motion, Final Cut Express, and Adobe After Effects. Part 2 of our sponsor messages will be after the episode discussion. And we're back to talk about the tips. It was 2 thumbs up from here.
2 thumbs up from here.
And here.
Yeah, honestly, this was Chuck. This was the fun Chuck that we love. And I mean, Morgan with those tips was awesome. And going back to their high school or their actually junior high relationship, and yeah, we had Ellie and Awesome, and it was just, I think, firing on all cylinders.
I said already that this is my favorite of the first 3. I thought it was outstanding. It felt like, there's a major payoff there for Morgan having to intersect. Mm-hmm. The storyline. We kind of saw what the point was, because, we saw it testing his relationship with Chuck. And then we also found out that it was planted and Chuck was supposed to have it, that someone, not Beckman, mm-hmm. sent him the intersect in the hopes of destroying his brain.
Yeah.
And they think it's Decker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know Chuck thinks that. I think it's Decker.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's the obvious answer.
Yeah, especially because we haven't seen Decker in a bit, so...
yeah, he wasn't in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I had forgotten that. Yeah. There was so much kind of nebulous talk of him that it seemed like he was there.
Yeah, and especially after that really menacing, threatening meeting that they had at the end of episode 1, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I imagine he's coming back with a vengeance.
Actually, wasn't it at the end of episode 2? And episode 1 is when he stole all their money. I don't know.
Oh, was it really? I thought that was at the end of episode 1. Anyway, somebody's gonna
I'm confused.
email the moment after they listen to the podcast and see.
We know you guys will tell us.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I loved and even the little subplots like Awesome with the baby and all the stuff he was able to do before 9:45.
I know, dang! What was in that shake, man?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it was more, really, I do all my normal stuff, and that's the only time that's gone by. What am I going to do for the rest of the day with this baby? Hmm? Yeah. Been there.
Mm-hmm.
So I quickly checked my DVR, and that Decker meeting was Chuck versus the Zoom. So we haven't seen him in 2 episodes.
Okay. It just seems like he's been around more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
One thing, going back to the very beginning of this episode with Sarah in the van doing surveillance and coaching Casey through his mission.
Oh my goodness.
To ask out Gertrude was so good. Such a wonderful way to start off this episode. Yeah. And I couldn't help but chuckle over the fact that is such a happily married person thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Your friend gets married and all of a sudden they're like, "Ooh, let me help you hook up. Let me set you up with my friend," or let me, they want everybody to be as happy as they are. Yeah. And I thought that was just a really authentic thing to have Sarah doing.
Yeah.
And again, it shows how far she's come.
Mm-hmm.
That she's able to give advice on relationships now. She feels confident.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of how far Sarah has come, this entire episode, she was really, I was just marveling at the fact that she was the one that was making, these 2 guys, wait a minute, this is Morgan Grimes we're talking about. Mm-hmm. They're all angry and caught up in their, in their emotions. And Sarah's the one that's stepping back and saying, wait a minute, guys, this isn't just some, mark that we're after. This is Morgan. This is your best friend. This is your buddy. We got to find out what's wrong. So, I mean, there's a whole new Sarah. There's a, you talk about an evolution of a character.
Well, I think it was also that she was able to kind of look at it objectively, and she was remembering back to when the intersect was going haywire in Chuck's head.
Mm-hmm.
And, she's still a first-class spy. She keeps reminding us that she's a very good spy.
Mm-hmm.
And she was making those connections and those deductions. And so, yeah, it's kind of I don't know. I'm really loving Sarah this season.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think everybody, I think it's so refreshing that Awesome knows, and so when Chuck or Morgan or whoever have an issue, they can go to Awesome and talk, or they can talk to Ellie about what it's doing to the brain, and it's neat to see that they're all able to have a different perspective on things, and they're able to share that with each other.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because Sarah went to Ellie and said, "Hey, help me out, help me understand what could be going wrong."
Yeah,
and Ellie gave her, a way to bring him back from it. That was, that couldn't have happened in season 3.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a really, again, a way to show just how far these characters have come since, even partway through season 4.
Mm-hmm. And we have some interesting things going forward. First of all, Casey and Gertrude going forward, and then we've got Jeff, who's healed of his Jeffness.
Yeah. How'd you like that?
That was fun.
Boy,
that was fun.
boy. You talk about an intersect change.
Yeah, Jeff being normal is like the equivalent of what the intersect can do to somebody else.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
A 180. Yeah. Quinoa, what?
Yeah.
And that is, after I watched that episode, I kind of went back to that moment because it feels like that was sort of a watershed moment for the series.
Mm-hmm.
That was, of course, it's a huge turning point for Jeff and it will affect Lester, but I just have a feeling that it's a huge moment for the series as a whole.
Interesting.
And we'll see if I'm right.
Yeah, I can see what you're talking. Yeah.
It was major.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it did seem, and it seemed like it was set up as something significant.
Exactly.
Like they wouldn't have built so much into it if it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. But what?
It was funny. It was funny as I was watching him walk into the Buy More, and he's all cleaned up and his hair's smoothed down, and he's looking. He looked like Scott Krinsky.
I know.
the real Scott Krinsky. Yeah. Well, and actually, it's interesting because Jeff and Lester have been so close to knowing the truth about Chuck, but they're just so dumb that they can't pick up on it. I'm wondering if this new Jeff will pick up on it.
That was my speculation too. Yeah, because we saw him back in Tom Sawyer. We got some glimpses of intelligence, and the way he came through for Ellie with the engagement, the video at the rehearsal dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You just see these kind of little glimpses of brilliance from him.
Yeah,
and now that he is carbon monoxide free, who knows? Who knows what he could end up doing?
Yeah.
Or seeing now, because he told Lester that he's seeing everything so clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's when I went, uh-oh, this may be bigger than it appears.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Lester's going to go right off the deep end with this.
Oh yeah.
It's he's just going to be all, verklempt.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to know what to do now. He's going to be totally lost. He'll be, the odd man out. And I don't know. I think Lester may go to a really dark, dark place.
Mm-hmm.
I think Vic would like that.
Yeah.
I think so.
Speaking of dark place, you've got Morgan and Alex.
Oh, yeah.
And that wasn't resolved at the end. So obviously they're going to have to resolve that later.
Mm-hmm. There's some fences to mend there, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that Casey did not, he accepted the apology, but he still wouldn't let him move back in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I liked that. That was good job, Dad.
Well, saying I'm sorry is fine, but there's still consequences that you have to be man enough to deal with. So, he's got to. And Morgan took it well.
Yeah. Though he's going out to a bomb in his car.
Yeah. Well, his mono tracer.
Oh, yeah. When he parked that in the Buy More.
Fun fact about that hair. He did not actually get frosted tips. Gomez did not.
Oh, yeah?
That is a blonde wig.
No.
Pieces of blonde wig cut off and stuck on his hair, glued to his hair.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Well
Wow.
done, makeup department.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wendy Lynn makeup?
She's makeup, not hair, but yeah.
Uh-huh.
That
Oh,
general-
okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well done.
Yeah. Well, we know that Chuck has a great crew.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very, very talented.
But boy, I tell you, when I started watching this episode, I was getting angry and angry at Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually yelling at my screen. You
Uh-huh.
jerk! You're so horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was bad. I went to a dark place.
Well, at least,
he owned up to it in the end,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said it wasn't all the intersect. It brought out my inner jerk.
Mhm.
And that's what I said in the last podcast.
Yeah. Well, at least that jerk is gone now. He's had his drawers dropped.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
That was actually that was really well played.
Yes.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I totally didn't expect that Chuck would do that. Actually,
Mhm.
literally.
It's,
Yeah.
I didn't
it's,
see it coming. A lot of people are going to be like, oh, I totally saw that coming. Well, okay. I'm stupid. I
Yeah.
didn't see. I really just didn't. I thought it was too obvious that he just wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Well,
and it was too seventh grade.
yeah.
Oh, Chuck never changed.
Yeah. Well, and actually it was neat. I mean, the whole Matrix
Yeah.
pulling back with the trank stuff coming, and the way you get the intersect is by pulling his pants down.
Yep. I love that they got that Matrix visual
Yeah.
in there. They had to do it eventually.
Mm-hmm. And it was cool that Morgan got to do it, not Chuck.
Yeah. Well, we think so, but
Yeah.
I gotta
save your
say,
comments.
yeah,
Mhm.
Carrie Ann Moss, I'm loving her.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
In fact, I commented to my daughter. She was sitting there with me. I said, she needs to stay on the show.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should have been on here sooner.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she and Adam Baldwin, that chemistry is outstanding. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that's like
Yeah.
that's like Zach and Yvonne levels of
Mhm.
chemistry,
Yeah.
and it's giving Casey something to do.
Mhm.
Something really meaty to work with
Mhm.
and explore. Oh gosh, I just can't wait to see more of that.
Could you see them wrapping up the season or the series with him and her going off, on their own mission? I could.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
only way to end the show. Casey's story.
Yeah, it's funny. You know what? The whole storyline with I'm forgetting her name. His Kathleen. Yeah, his old fiance. Like I love the actress who plays that character, and the character's nice enough and everything. But when you compare Casey with Kathleen and Casey with Gertrude, Casey and Gertrude just make so much more sense.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Gertrude is the woman for Casey. Kathleen is the woman for Alex.
Right.
They're two different people.
Yeah.
She was before and Gertrude is after.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh gosh, Carrie Ann Moss.
Hmm.
Brilliant casting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I loved the moment with Casey and Alex. Actually, he actually gave her a hug, being Daddy Casey. That was precious.
It was
precious.
And especially because there was a bit of a contrast there, because he wouldn't be affectionate with Gertrude in the beginning, but he would be affectionate with his daughter.
Right.
Mhm.
So he can when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he got his gun back.
Yeah.
That was great. That was brilliant.
Oh, and it was fun in her office when he wouldn't just do the deed. He had to look around, and you could see that he was just connecting. I mean, with the Ronald Reagan picture, and like they just make sense on so many levels.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Perfect fit. That's why I could see them ending Casey's story in this series with him and her going off and doing missions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. And that I would be really satisfied with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, so we got 10 more episodes, and we have Decker was a big one, and obviously with the storyline of the hit on Morgan.
Boy, full circle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Some people were complaining last week about the fact that Morgan was telling everybody that he was the intersect.
Mm-hmm.
And see, just wait.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. Just wait, people.
Yeah.
What you're complaining about, you are supposed to be complaining about.
Uh-huh.
You're doing it right.
Yeah.
You feel that way? You're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Just wait.
Yeah, speaking of just wait, I can't wait for episode 8.
Boy, that's being built up so much. I don't even know that I even want to watch it at this point. I'm afraid it's not going to live up to the hype.
Yeah. Wow.
There's actually a little inkling of a tiny rumor that we might get that before the hiatus too.
Oh boy.
But that is so unconfirmed.
Uh-huh.
Say that right now. It's so unconfirmed. But
it would be so
little birdie
nice.
did say it could happen.
It would be so nice to have a good, strong episode before a hiatus. I mean, hopefully they learn from season 3.
Boy, that was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's in the past.
That is way in the past.
That's almost 2 years ago.
Far in the past.
That's a year and a half ago. Yeah. Gosh, there was something else I was going to mention from this episode. Oh, it was nice to see Beckman back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Still doing her part to help Team Bartowski.
Mm-hmm. In the parkade.
Mm-hmm. And that's, Becky doing her Pilates. Core looks good. I love that. What is wrong with them? So many things.
So many things, yeah. Oh, yeah. There are some really good lines in this one.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah.
And this is a Phil Klemmer episode.
Yep. Yeah, I had a great interview with him, and one of the things he said, and actually it was really neat because we lamented at the end of season 3 when Ali Adler left, Scott Rosenbaum left, Matt Miller left, Zev Burrow left, and Phil Klemmer left all at once, and Phil said something pretty profound, and that's that. Even though all of these guys were great writers, they had hit a point after 3 seasons that they were kind of not running out of ideas, but you get a little tired.
Yeah.
And the fresh blood that came in season 4, they would have needed anyway, even if it hadn't have been for that timing of those writers leaving. And even Phil said going to Undercovers and coming back that was the best thing for him, so that when he came back, he could have fresh ideas. So I think that this is a new Phil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's interesting. That's a really different perspective, but it makes sense. I mean, after 3 years, you need to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
I get, Liz knows I drag her along with all my new adventures.
Yeah.
I get bored. Not even after 3 years, but, I know we really limited. We were really, the fandom was very, very sad when Ali Adler moved on.
Mm-hmm.
I liked, No Ordinary Family. I thought that was good.
Yeah, me too.
She was on that, but then I gotta say, I'm glad she's not on Chuck, because now she's on Glee, and she's saving the show. She and the other writers that they hired, it's actually a show now, and I like that show. So yeah, I'm okay with that. I am A-okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I'm really eager to see what Scott Rosenbaum does with Port Royal. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we've heard of that pilot, but
yes, I don't know if that's Yeah,
Gail Ann Hurd producing.
I would really like to see it go. I'm just not sure that's right, but
yeah, we'll see. I mean, a couple of heavyweights there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, anything else from this episode? Good Ellie stuff, lots of good Sarah stuff. Mm-hmm. They blew up another helicopter.
Blowed up real good.
Yeah. And Morgan got to fly it.
Mm-hmm.
Now if that had been episode 2, that would have been a really terrific parallel to point 2. But pacing.
Yeah.
Gertrude and Casey awesomeness.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I need to say, another thing that came out in the interview with Phil Klemmer was that he said that episode 3 is only the beginning of a very strong run of episodes.
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing too.
Yeah, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is what he was saying. Just really, really strong.
And that was what you had interviewed him right when they were filming 8?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That's not to say that after 8 they sucked.
Oh yeah, I guess it could sound that way. Yeah, no, yeah, like basically he was saying up to that point that it was like things were just clicking. So, I like it.
Yep.
Cool.
Too.
So I guess we've exhausted the discussion of the frosted tips. And...
Not really. I just can't think of anything else. I meant to be writing stuff down, but I didn't do it either time I watched. So.
Yeah, cool. So next week we are sure is going to be a good one, and make sure that you do tell people that Chuck is on Friday night. We don't want people missing it because they don't know it's on. And
don't, tell them not to count on catching it online the next day, because that, I hope we get news of a positive variety on that front very soon. But right now it's not looking like that's an alternative.
So set your VCR.
Bring the party to your house on Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But once
party on.
Give them what they want and have Chuck in the background. Be introducing new people. At this point, it doesn't really matter, but
yeah,
they can appreciate it with you.
Yeah.
Cool. Very, very cool. Well, we're going to have another little word from our sponsors before we conclude and go to spoilers. Red Giant's Magic Bullet Suite can give you Hollywood-style looks and special effects as simply as with a single click. For a short time only, get Magic Bullet Mojo for only $49. Starting your own podcast? You need an audio interface to get sound in. Go to presonus.com for a wide range of affordable yet high-quality options. And if you're a photographer, you can get a lot more out of your camera with high dynamic range photography, made possible by Photomatix software. And we're back. Very thankful for our sponsors for making this show possible. And so we're going to go to our spoilers in a second. But hey, thanks for watching. And if you don't want to hear the spoilers, just turn us off. But otherwise, we're going to roll right on to some cool stuff. Bye-bye. And we're back with spoilers. Mel.
Well, we don't have any earth-shattering this week, but we do have the synopsis for next week's episode, Chuck versus the Business Trip. Chuck and Sarah must uncover an assassin among the employees of a Buy More sales convention. Chuck and Sarah go undercover at a Buy More convention to hunt down an assassin whose mission is to take down the new Intersect. That kill order, that's legit.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Morgan must deal with the consequences of having the Intersect, and at the Buy More, Jeff begins to show a very different side of himself. Adam Baldwin, Sarah Lancaster, Ryan McPartlin, Vic Sahai, and Mark Christopher Lawrence also star. So it's going to be a full house in that episode. And I think that this is the one, Chris Fedak, when we were talking, I think he said that this is a very sweet episode.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Episode 4. Yeah, he said it was just really sweet. And it was a very different kind of episode, especially with Chuck and Sarah. They're kind of off on this mission on their own. And yeah, so I'm curious. I'm eager to see what that means.
Yeah.
All right. Well, TV Line has news about Chuck's final big bad of the series, appearing in the last 4 episodes of season 5. Played again by Agnes McFadden. I'm sorry.
Agnes.
Agnes.
That's a whole different character.
Yeah. Will be when I get through with it.
Yeah.
Agnes McFadden. Nicholas Quinn is a former CIA agent who now runs a mercenary spy ring. Is he connected to Decker? Rebecca Romaine, rogue agent? Ooh, wouldn't that be great? Well, we'll find out starting in episode 510, airing early next year.
Early next year. Now, do we know anything about what that means?
No,
like
that's why we're vague about it, Gray.
Yeah, so it could be a long gap, it could be a short gap. We just don't know.
Nope.
Too bad.
We don't know, but we hope that it's like January or February.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
am I wrong in thinking that at this point the Decker's rogue CIA? Are you guys getting that vibe too?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because Beckman didn't know anything about, him sending the Intersect.
Yeah.
The new Intersect.
Interesting.
So it could be, when you think about that, it could be that she's probably working with her people on the inside to try and take him down.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah,
that
could be cool.
A really cool Beckman storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to see Beckman with a bazooka again.
Yeah. Hey, at least she's out from behind the desk.
Yeah, that's true.
She
has legs.
And I love the way they shot that scene, so it looked like he was, it was someone really tall. It's Beckman.
Yeah. Cool. Well, so I guess on that note, we will enjoy next Chuck on Friday night, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.